Okay, so the podcast is a it's so hard. So the podcast is called Public Display of Connection. It's a podcast where I have my favorite people on and they bring a poem that they like and then they read it, we discuss it, and then we get into more maybe deeper conversations and intimacy and talk about like where we connect and why we connect. And you might be thinking right now, hey, Aubrey, I don't like poetry. I don't get it. It makes me want to vom every time I look at it. And to that I say, maybe you just haven't read enough poems. Maybe you haven't read your poem yet that will really open you up to the idea of new ideas. And in the words of Walt Whitman, be curious, not judgmental. And maybe you'll hear a poem that you connect with and you'll start racing to your local library or bookshop and screaming at the top of your lungs, where the hell is the poetry section? And I'll be waiting there in the next aisle, creepily watching you, saying, hey, I told you so, and I'll be happy for you. In this episode, we sit down with Ian Gary, actor, comedian, sweetie pie, and maybe a cannibal. I don't know, you'll just have to listen to the full episode. We talk animal intelligence, the ethics of squishing bugs, Buddhism, a poem by Robert Burns, and that sweet, sweet human meat. Come along for the ride. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good. How you doing?
I'm good. Do I have lipstick on my teeth?
No, you did a wonderful application job. Don't ask. Don't ask if you don't trust me.
You were singing in like a way that was like, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
And then you'd like look at camera and be like,
I wish. That would have been a great opening if you just had crazy Sherry O'Terry, like mid-90s SNL character lipstick. And
that's
I just lied about it right to your face, and then you had to see it later.
Rude. That's like one of my favorite jokes. It's like if I have like Nutella or something, just being like, hi.
It's a good one, right?
Do you have anything in my teeth?
Do you have anything in my teeth?
Comedy.
Hi, friend. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I love your intimate space. This is such an intimate. Us, pale white knee to pale white knee. I love it.
You know when like your leg is like barely touching somebody else's, where it's like tickly, where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
ah,
I like it. It's fun.
It makes I'm like tickly. I'm like itchy and tickly, so I get a little bit like anxious.
Sorry,
but it's okay.
I may do that now multiple times through this. Just see if I can.
You catch
barely need touch.
Now I'm gonna react. Who the hell are you?
Hi. Where should I look? You have so many cameras. This is such a setup.
Right
Should
here.
I just right here to connect with you and your soul.
Yeah,
and
this
your
is
soul
us.
windows.
Yes.
It's just so weird to be like, my name is Ian Gary, and you know who I am.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should go, I'm Ian Gary, but I guess not. Hi, I'm Ian. And I am a fantastic person with a lot of good virtues. I've been working on myself.
I'm just trying to match your energy.
No, I appreciate it.
How did you come to be on my couch? How did we meet? How are we in each other's lives? How are we connected?
That's a really good question. We have a mutual friend, John, and I'm pretty sure that's how that happened, right?
Yeah. You guys used to live together, and then I
Beechwood
showed up.
Canyon rep, baby.
And we've just been circling the same drain ever since. And I feel like you're one of my like meme friends.
I'm going to be honest. We have a polyamorous meme for this. I am everybody's meme friend. I'm everybody's meme friend.
Yeah.
No one hangs out in person anymore. Mm-hmm. And so everybody just sends memes, and I'm on that shit.
Yeah.
I do like, if I think it's quality, I'm not a gatekeeper.
You're not like, so you're saying that you're cheating on me with other
I have,
people.
and I'm glad that we're having this moment. I send memes to so many people.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing, I do curate. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't send you stuff that I think you're not going to like.
Yeah. No,
so every send is an intimate send.
Yeah, I've got like, there's like certain people that I do it with. There's like you, John, my friend Michael, and then there's like a couple of other people where like that's kind of our kind of daily check-in, where it's like, this is funny, like this, like I'm gonna make you giggle right now. And I noticed, though, like, because you're friends with John, we all kind of send each other the same ones and be like, I just sent you that.
Like, it's a sloppy seconds meme.
Where it'll go, like, I'll send it to John, John will send it to you, and then you'll send it to
right
me.
to
I'm
you.
like, why are we not in a group text? It just saves so much data for, you know, all the space that we're taking up with individual
Probably
messages.
like a lot of carbon emissions from our energy usage of oversending memes.
Yeah, sorry, planet. It's our fault. The planet is on fire because of our
Sorry, everybody.
groups. We touched on our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What is your relationship to poetry? Was this a new experience for you? Are you?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not a poetry guy. I'm really not. So there's occasional ones, and there are, like, any art. I respect the art and I respect the craft, and I will casually, if I see something someone sent, like if you send me something, I'll take a look at it and I'll go like, oh, I like that or I don't like that. But I'm not someone who like seeks out poetry. It's not really my artistic vein.
Yeah.
But my relationship to poetry, I was telling you this a second ago, my parents are like crazy obsessed with being Scottish. My name is Ian McGregor Cunningham Gary. They love it. They're super proud of it. It's a big part. It's like Scottish on both sides.
Have they been to Scotland?
Yes. And now my mother's getting to a certain age where she's like, I don't have many more trips. And she wants to go to Scotland one more time. So they're big into it. It's a big part of their identity. So I'm familiar most as far as poetry goes with Robert Burns, the Scottish poet laureate. And they're also like, this is why I don't care about this kind of stuff, is that not poetry, about like identity.
Yeah.
Is, you know, they'll be like, Robert Burns, and they talk about Scottish stuff like they did it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, that's not, I mean, yeah, kind of. Like, I guess you're descended from kind of, sort of, but like, I didn't write any of those poems.
It's like their sports team that they're just like,
Exactly.
we won the game.
Right? It's like, so they're very invested in being Scottish. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool and all, but neat. But all that to say, the poem I selected today, I do actually love it because it is so tender and kind and empathetic and sympathetic. And it's one of those things where you're like, especially like, this was, if I remember correctly, it's written in 1785.
I've heard of it.
So people were even meaner then than they are now in 1785. So the fact that there was like any empathy in 1785, I'm like, you seem like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't think people were as nice back then, and they're mean now.
Yeah. Well, I think there was like a hardness in order to survival where you just have to deal with a lot more shit. Where it'd be like, oh, like you have 4 kids, 2 of them die from a
Cholera.
You know, yeah, like, oh, so
better
and so
make
got
6 more so they can till the fields.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my arm got chopped off today in like a mill accident.
And they're like, shut up, you have to shovel coal in the morning. Put your baby in that coal mine.
How do you shovel coal with one arm? That's what I want to know. You just put it individually.
Figure
into
it
a
out,
bucket.
or you'll be executed
Yeah.
by the village, and everyone will throw tomatoes at you.
Your knees touching mine.
There you go. See, I told you it's going to happen like 800 times.
Yeah, so you don't, like, what would you say that you do identify with if you don't identify with being Scottish? Or do you find the whole idea of, like, identity to be something that's kind of irrelevant and we should all be just in the moment?
Listen, I'm very conscious of saying, like, I don't really care about identity as, like, a straight, cis white guy. I get it, right?
I'm setting you up to crucify you.
Yeah, fucking cancel podcast.
Welcome to Canceled Podcast.
God damn it!
Got him again. Every week we have a straight white male
Jesus
on.
Christ. It's just like a row of mug shots. You ask like one seemingly innocent question and they're like, I just, I think like if everybody just worked harder. Oh God.
I feel like that's like Z-Way's podcast. Do you know Z-Way?
No. I don't read poetry. I don't watch podcasts. I'm sorry.
Black woman's podcast. So
I need to know it now.
No, you'd love it. She's just really asks all these questions, or like sets people up in this way that's like hilarious.
Oh wait, I think I've seen clips of it. Maybe.
Yeah, she's just like, is that like, are you problematic? And like, but just hones the questions in this way where like, anybody could get in trouble where
Right.
they're like,
But to answer that, I think like in an ideal world, yes, I don't care about those things, you know, and it's like, yeah, there's a certain privilege in being who I am that my identity doesn't impact me on a daily. And I get that. But like, yes, in an ideal world, I wish things were more that way. As far as like how I view things, yeah, I don't know. I like...
Like, what do you love about yourself, I guess, is maybe a better way to frame that. Like, yeah, like, I like...
It's not a better way to frame it at all. No, I mean, the things that, like, I take pride in my art, which just doesn't happen to be poetry, but I mean, acting and writing and... Oh, you want me to blow your mind with something?
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your mind right now. Ever since I really leaned into meditation and little sprinkles of Buddhism and stuff like that, I try not to take too much pride in the things I used to take pride in. Like I used to like identity markers of like, I am a smart boy. I am a good boy. I try to be a good person and all that kind of stuff.
You're just describing like a dog.
Yeah, I'm a smart, good boy. I wish to fuck I was a dog. What an amazing, like if you were like,
you'd be a good...
you get an identity, dog.
Yeah.
Hear that one yapping outside right now?
They're
I don't know if
calling
it's
to
picking
you.
up on the mic, but yeah, that's my people. Those are my people. So
They're
yes.
like, shut up.
As I've gotten further into that stuff, I try to just go like, those things ultimately aren't me. And I hope that doesn't sound esoteric and ridiculous, but like, that's honestly where my brain's at.
Yeah.
It's like those things are a part of me, but they're not me, if that makes sense.
I think you're allowed to determine that for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I just, for so long, that was like the identity. If I went through life with like those kind of markers or what I'm proud of about me, it was like, I think I'm smart. I think I'm funny. I think I'm talented. I think I care a lot. Like those would be the things, right?
And then Buddhism is like,
and
fuck all of your things.
Yeah, because like, you know, and I don't consider myself Buddhist or whatever. It's just like the things, you read stuff and things pollinate in your brain. And
do you listen to Alan Watts?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of that, you know, like I said, I wouldn't identify that way. Theme in this conversation, but like little things pollinate, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that just kind of really nailed me in reading stuff and studying stuff was just like, you are not your thoughts, right? And that one really made me go like very, very nervous, you know, because it basically delves down and they're like, you've thought awful things, right? And you're like, yeah, I've thought plenty of awful things. They're like, terrible stuff. I'm like, mm-hmm. They're like, would you say that that's you? And you're like, no, of course not. Those are bad things. That's not me.
Yeah.
You know? And they're like, so then why are the good things you? And you're like,
oh, fuck.
oh no.
Did I just have a fart moment?
Right. And that was my fart moment.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, if I can take all the like awful parts and go, that's not me. That's just random thoughts. But then all the good thoughts and the stuff that I'm proud of, I go, that's me.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, why? Why are those any more you than the bad thoughts? So then, yeah, right? So then that became like a real light bulb. It was a fart moment.
Yeah.
Just that thing of like, oh, I don't think I can come back from that thought, right?
Yeah.
Given that, as far as identity stuff goes, I am proud of all the stuff I'm proud of. I do think that I endeavor to be like a caring person who tries to, not great at, have a ton of ego and tries to care and be empathetic and stuff like that. Ultimately, I'm just like a ball of energy, man.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what, I was going to say something about the poem, but I kind of want you to read it first before I say the thing. Because I think that there's something to this poem that has to do with like identity and kind of how, like, or not identity, but just like how somebody views others and themselves. And that plane is probably just identifying itself as loud right now.
Just living its life.
Yeah, that plane's living its best life. It's flying. It's high as a kite.
As a quick aside, I live near the Van Nuys Airport.
Oh,
You've been there.
I have.
When I first moved there, I got on Nextdoor for one reason and one reason only. And it was because people from that airport fly these like vintage World War II, World War I, like Snoopy planes.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they're having a fun time, right? But they're insane. It's like, like it's like old-timey Snoopy plane. And so I got on Nextdoor and I was like, hey, this is like 4 days a week. Super loud, you know, like try and record auditions and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, super loud. Is there like a person we can talk to about like, who do we talk to about these planes that are all the time? Unanimously. And I know it's Nextdoor. I know there's a type of profile from Nextdoor. But unanimously, they were like, fuck you. If you don't like the planes here, you can leave.
Oh my God.
Shouldn't have been. And I was they were like, I go outside with my child and we watch the planes fly. Like, it's like, I would
have thought it'd be the other way around.
These people in my neighborhood love these loud, like Snoopy planes.
Let's go egg their houses and get.
I kind of wish I could.
Yeah.
Do you? Because here's the thing.
Yes.
It's in Gaelic or Gaelic. I'm not really sure which one. I remember my parents saying it's like when it's Scottish, it's Gaelic, and when it's Irish, it's Gaelic. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, your parents probably would know.
They probably
since they're so
would.
Scottish.
They are super Scottish about stuff, but they're also like just Americans. So I feel like they make it up as they go. It's like everybody, you know, they're like, we're Scottish, we're Italian, we're Polish. It's like, you're American. No, like you don't have like some raw bloodline. It's not some kingship thing. Anyway, so there's a translated version and there's a Gaelic or Gaelic version.
How about let's do the English version first,
okay?
So that you can kind of get a grasp,
know what's going on,
and then we'll do the fun, spicy one, maybe.
Great. Yeah, let's read into it. This is called "Ode to a Mouse." It's by Robert Burns. It's from forever ago. Yeah, like 1785. Sleek, tiny, timorous, cowering beast, why such panic in your breast? Why dash away so quick, so rash in a frenzied flash, when I would be loath to run after you with a murderous plow staff? I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union and justifies that bad opinion which makes you startle when I'm your poor earthborn companion and fellow mortal. I have no doubt you sometimes thieve. What of it, friend? You too must live. A random corn-ear and a shocks, a small behest. It'll give me a blessing to know such a loss, I'll never miss it. Your tiny house lies in a ruin, its fragile walls wind-rent and strewn. Now nothing's left to construct you a new one of mosses green, since bleak December winds ensuing blow fast and keen. You saw your fields laid bare and waste, with weary winter closing fast, and cozy here beneath the blast you thought to dwell, till crash, the cruel iron plowshare passed straight through your cell. That flimsy heap of leaves and stubble had cost you a many weary nibble. Now you turned out for all your trouble, less house and hold, to endure cold winter's icy dribble and hoarfrost's cold. But mouse friend, you are not alone in proving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes of mice and men go oft awry, and leave us only grief and pain for promised joy. Still, friend, you're blessed compared with me. Only present dangers make you flee, but ouch, behind me I can see grim prospects drear, while forward-looking seers we humans guess and fear. I like it.
What do you like about it?
The first thing that strikes me is again, this is, 1785, and it's like he's a farmer. And I think he wrote this at like 15 years old, something like that. So just a baby. And
just a wee little baby.
A wee little baby. The attentiveness, the understanding, it's not just to like literally plow through something with a literal plow and just kind of go about your life as I feel like most people would. Mm-hmm. But to be impacted by going like, oh, I ruined a little mouse house. Mm-hmm. And to be impacted on such a level that you feel the need to get it out of your chest.
To write a poem about it.
To write a poem about just like ruining a little mouse house, And so the sensitivity and the pause in that is very dear to me. And then also this kind of twist ending where it's like, oh yeah, but you also are like only compelled by the present, where it's like man has a unique blessing and curse of like contemplating the past and the future. That's kind of a unique, semi-unique. I'm not in the brain of a chimpanzee or whatever, but generally speaking, I think we can get.
I feel like their brains are going to get into ours first, right? Aren't they putting those chips in? What is that noise?
Maybe it's a chimpanzee.
My God, they're taking over.
I don't know. Someone's power washing.
They're just power washing the wall
Probably
outside.
power washing a mouse house.
Oh no,
And
it's
they're not-
happening right now.
And they're not going to write a poem about it because they're a jerk.
Yeah, we just go with
Should
it.
I hold?
It's
No,
like pretty
this is
relaxed. Yeah, this is like we're in a home, we're hanging out,
Great.
we're touching knees.
We are. Beep. I'm just compelled and drawn to sweet people and kindness and gentility. Like those are always the things that I always catch myself. Like if I look back on all the things that have ever mattered to me, the stuff that really makes an impact or makes me go like, it's always little sweetie pies, you know? And so this is one of the sweetie pies. And I have like a little kinship in the idea of, I was thinking about this last night in preparation for our discussion. I probably wrote a couple little poems at some point in my life, but I only remember one that I wrote at like 12 or 13 or something like that. And it's almost identical. And I didn't realize it at the time, you know? And I kind of only put it together last night. And I don't remember any of the content, you know, like I don't remember any of the lines or anything. But I remember going for a walk late at night in the summer. I was probably like 12 or 13. And I came upon a rabbit in the street. And it just like, it was terrified. You know what I mean? It just had that thing and it freezes, you know, does its little bunny nose and is just trying not to be seen. And it just, I remember writing something about that being like, oh, to strike fear in something like that, you know, was not a good feeling to me.
Are you do you squish bugs or do you put them outside?
I'm so much better about it now.
Yeah, I think I also have delved into like the more Buddhist way of thinking, and there is something to like when I can not end a life, like I try and consciously do that and like respect just the other.
If it's not a roach, if it's just like some kind of bug, like a silverfish or whatever.
Fuck roaches.
Yeah, a roach, like you're sorry, bro. That's getting a squishy.
If it's like in direct opposition to me living in my house, like. Nah.
Spiders I've gotten way better about because my house is full of spider. For whatever reason, where I am is Spider Town, USA.
Halloween
so
all year long.
All year long. And I've kind of gotten like desensitized.
Yeah.
Like I just go like, oh, it's just a spider. Okay. And plug for this. I don't know what they're called, but it has like a little kind of gun handle thing and it's got a long neck on it with like plastic grabbies. Game changer. Because to me, it's like, yeah, I want to take that bug outside, but I don't want you to do creepy crawlies. So I probably will squish, right? But this thing, you just put it over top of them. They're completely flummoxed by the whole thing. They're just like, what is this? And then it just grabs them, and then you can take them outside.
I need one of those.
You need one.
I recently accidentally developed a pumpkin patch out in my yard. And
I know like 4 people that's happened to. Like pumpkins thrive. Man.
Yeah, they thrive on neglect. And it's been having squash blossoms and I've been eating them. But you pick a squash blossom and there's bees asleep in the squash blossoms. Adorable, but also terrifying if you're holding something in your hand and it starts to vibrate and you're like, what the fuck? And then this like bees just like clawing its way out. And last night I had one and I'd shaken it and checked, and then I put it in some water in the sink, and then I just see the like zzz, and I was like, oh shit, and I was trying to find like a container that I could just put it in, and I took it and I just kind of like gently put it over the rail, man. But I just don't want it to get loose in the house is the thing.
Did you write a poem about destroying its bed? Robbie's got one up on you, I'm afraid. I'm the problem. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. So yeah, anyone watching, get one of those grabbies.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. spiders are flummoxed.
Flummoxed.
I still, I have a very like unscientific means of like what spiders I squish. If you're too pointy, if you're pointy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna squish you.
Black widows squish.
Yeah, black widow squish.
Yeah. But did you know that insects, because of all like the pesticides that everybody uses, insects are not doing well in numbers. So that's another reason not to squish them. I like the heart of the poem within that, where it's like, I think about that too, where there's just this whole ecosystem that's happening. I'm very big on animal intelligence, and that fascinates me. I feel like we're not curious enough about animals and how they think and what they're like. We kind of are like, oh, they're not, there's no other what's that, like search for aliens is like search for intelligent life. It's here, it's on this planet, and it's hanging out. But yeah, there's like so many things that just have like different intelligence, and they operate within their ecosystems functionally without negatively affecting other species.
I mean, I think we mentioned orangutans a second ago.
Yeah.
That was the last time I went to the zoo, and it was like a palpable moment for me, which I already wasn't thrilled about zoos.
Yeah.
But I remember going because it was just one of those things like, we're going to go. I was like, all right. So we went, and there was an orangutan enclosure, and I made eye contact with one of the orangutans in there. The intelligence and the presence and the being, like, it was not like, I'm a monkey or I'm some animal in a thing. You're just kind of watching it. Homie was looking at me dead in the eyes.
Judging you.
I kind of felt that way. Like, there was kind of, and maybe I'm all for, like, maybe this is projection on my part or something, but I don't think it was. There was very much a look of, like, I'm not supposed to be in here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
same with the gorillas, too. Like, you can just tell that they're pissed off, like, having to deal with all these shitty people's kids all day banging the glass, and they're just like, ugh.
Like, there was such presence and such intelligence.
Yeah.
And it was like, I will never forget it. Like, clear as day, I can see that orangutan. Clear as day.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's hard, too, because, like, I had a zoo membership for a little bit just because I was like, I like to just go and kind of sit there and observe and kind of get on whatever frequency they're on, which I know makes me so, I am so LA.
You are?
I think it's interesting, like just to like watch something and like look in something's eyes and observe its behavior. And I think that there's so much to communication that's nonverbal or that is there. Like with dogs, you get a smart dog, and like you can communicate and talk to them, and they know what you're talking about. And like I'll talk to a dog like it's any person, and they know if I'm like, oh, like go over there, come here, like why don't you visit, like I'll speak to them, and they do exactly the thing.
What's funny too, I think like animals are, people talk about animals like it's like either they are intelligent or they're not, and it's like I think animals are like people. I know some real, like, Devo's a dumb boy. Devo's not a smart guy, right? He's smart and, like, knows commands and, like, he understands stuff. But you look in the eyes, there's not a lot going on. He is the most dog I've ever had. Yeah. Right? Where it's like, that is just a dog.
It's like food,
run,
belly
play,
rubs.
belly. He is purely primal in that way.
Yeah.
Gertie, you pick Gertie up and she looks at you, and it's like, there's stuff happening. Yeah. You can just see it, So I think people or I think animals are like people. It's like some are dumb as bricks and some are really smart. I don't think it's like, I feel like when people talk about animals, they're like, they're smart or they're not. Or like they have intellect or they don't. And it's like, no, some do and some are clearly smarter than others, It's
so interesting to me. And I feel like that's my fallback if I ever decide to give up my whatever career I have. I don't know. Like
you have like 9.
I know. But yeah, I'm like, maybe if I'm old, once I get old, I'm gonna just really deep dive into figuring out how to communicate with animals.
Please do.
It's so fascinating. Like dolphins. Blue whales will conspire against killer whales because killer whales are like the dicks of the sea. Like they'll just hunt for fun and for sport. And
dolphins are too, by the way. Dolphins are like, they have a reputation for being like, they surrounded me in a basket and protected me from a shark and like swam me to the sea. It's like, and they also just like rape. Dolphins are big rapers. It's true.
There's the sound bite for
this. That's your splash at the top.
Dolphins are big rapers.
Dolphins are big rapers. They are. They're like people. It's like some are wonderful.
Yeah.
And do like lovely things, and some are just trash bag dolphins.
But blue whales, they will try and fuck up the shit of the killer whales just for fun because they don't like them, and they they'll like protect species that aren't their own just if the killer whales happen to be hunting them. They're like, yeah, we're gonna it's like when somebody goes to shoot a basket and they just like smack it out of the net. I don't know what the technical term for that is called, but
also I loved you saying like blue whales will just like fuck up the shit. Like I want that in like a David Attenborough. Like, blue whales will fuck up the shit of killer whales, whatever. Who's the bad one? Who's the dick whale?
Killer whales.
Killer whales. Makes sense.
Yeah.
They're called killer whales.
Right? Willie, not so cool of a guy. He's like, it's like that, you know, those like globes where you touch your finger and the little electricity thing comes
the
out.
Little mini Tesla.
Yeah,
thingies.
That's what's happening when our knees get close enough.
Well, it's such an intimate space.
Yeah, I like identifying myself as somebody who would not kill something unless it needed
like
to be killed.
Or it's pointy.
Yeah.
Pointy spider. I know that there's so many like chill pointy spiders and that I'm just like being a dick about it. But if they're pointy, it's a problem for me.
I just had this thought come up into my brain. The guy who wrote that poem that you read, he wrote Auld Lang Syne.
I did know that.
How do you pronounce it?
Auld Lang Syne.
Auld Lang Syne.
That's the New Year's thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a nice guy. Seems like just a cool, sweet.
Yeah. So he's like
the
a poet laureate of Scotland. Shocker as a Scottish man, quite a drinker.
That's insane.
Apparently quite a ladies' man who doesn't love a poet. And it's like, it's a big deal there. They have like Robert Burns Night is like a big thing. It's like a national holiday.
Wow.
So he's a big deal there. I've read more of his poetry than anyone else's, or I've had it read to me.
Yeah.
by family members. And yeah, there's like such a tender, even that song, like, you know, I think it just kind of gets into or that poem that became a song just kind of goes into the background because it's the New Year's Eve song.
Yeah.
But it's like such a introspective, kind of painfully tender.
Tender, that's a good word to describe his stuff, I think.
These looks back on life and... you know, a thinker and a feeler, which is like all poetry, right?
Yeah.
At its core.
Yeah. Would you like to read the Gaelic version?
Sure, I'll do that. Here's the thing. I am in no way trained in these ways.
Gaelic?
I have heard this read a billion times, so I'm pretty sure the Plinko chips have fallen into place. If anyone watching this is an authority on this language, please feel free to let us know how.
Cancel him.
Yeah, cancel me, or let me know how I did, or like let me know if like I think I'm doing this correctly, but maybe I'm just doing like Redbeard. Right?
You're very brave.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident. Here's the thing: I'm confident in it, but who knows? But anyway, if you recall the previous poem. This is in its original tongue. We slicket cowrin timorous beastie, oh what panics in thy breastie, thou needna start away in hasty, we bickering brattle. I wad be laith to rin and chase thee, we murdering prattle. It's fun, right? It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to say. It's a fun language. And then weirdly, there are parts, you know, it's like Gaelic is broken up. It's kind of like Spanglish a little bit. So like this part is almost word for word. And then it just says, I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union. All that part is straight English, basically. But I guess you just say, I'm truly sorry, man's dominion is broken nature's social union, and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy porn earth-born companion and fellow mortal. Then write back, I doubt no wiles, but thou may thieve. What then, poor beastie, thou maun leave? A Damien Icar in a thrave, se smar request. I'll get a blessing when ye leave and never missed. It's a little tough.
You're doing great.
Thy wee bit housey. Thy wee bit housey.
Oh my God.
That's how you say a little house. Fun language.
I'm going to use that again.
Thy wee bit housey too in rune. It's silly was the winds are strewn. And Nathan now to a new ain of foggish green. And bleak December's winds ensoon. Baith snail and keen. Thou saw the fields lay barren wast. And weary winter coming fast, and cozy here beneath the blast, thou thought to dwell till crash, the cruel coulter past, outthrow thy cell. That wee bit o' heap o' leaves and stibble has cost thee money a neary nibble. Now thou'st turned out for thy trouble, but house and hold, to house thy winter sleety dribble, and crownage called. But mousy there thou art no lie lane, improving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes o' mice and men gang off to gley, and lay us nought but grief and pain for promised joy. Still thou art blessed compared with me, the present only toucheth thee, but och, I backward cast mine eye on prospects drear, and forward though I canna see, I guess in fear. Not bad, right? I think I did okay.
So good.
But like, you know, when you say like winter's icy dribble and they call it sleety dribble, there's a lot of like fun words, right?
Yeah. What are some other words that you like?
Wee bit housey. I just like it all. I don't know. It's
so
fun.
playful.
Yeah, there's like a playfulness to the language, right? Oh, cost thee money. Money is many. Okay. So much of it is like kind of phonetic, like broken. It's like,
So money is this thing that we use. We have it in our
not
pockets,
that kind.
and it's
And
like
I may be
paper
saying it
or
wrong.
it's coin.
I may be saying it wrong. Maybe it's like money, mini. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
MONIE. But it means many, is what I just found out.
Oh. Do you have anything to ask me? Any questions I can?
What made you
Resolve for you?
want to do this specifically as opposed to any other type of
Yeah, interview me now.
yeah. No, but what made you want to do this instead of like one about your favorite movies or
I think it's because I enjoy poetry so much, and I would like the people around me to, and I also enjoy the people around me so much. And I think that there's something about like celebrating your friends and your connections, and it kind of, the two kind of join together of celebrating the people around me, and also the idea of poetry being like a very personal, and like we were talking on the last one about it being like a prayer or like an act of worship. And it's, to me, it's kind of like taking an individual and getting inside their heart in a special way, because it's all so different and so unique. So I think it's always interesting to me, like what people bring with them, like the types of poems, or like some of them are like heavy, some of them are playful, and
it's funny, we're like talking about identity, you know, and earlier we were saying the thing of like, well, if your bad thoughts aren't you, then your good thoughts aren't you. But if I were to take argument with myself, like you kind of are the things you aspire and cherish.
You are a collection of like the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so the things, in a sense, if you are anything, you're the things that you like aspire to be, or the things that like you cherish and hold dear, or that impact you from the outside, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, the stuff that people bring in, they go, this resonates with some part of me. You know, that is them, right?
Yeah. Well, I was like, it's interesting how poetry is kind of a portrait of somebody. Like if you write a poem, it is kind of pulling out, I think of Harry Potter with like Gandalf, how he has those like memories that he pulls out, or like, to me, that's kind of what writing a poem feels like. And so it was kind of a marriage of that, where it's like I I want people to know who I am in a way by writing that, or I want them to connect to me. And so the way that happens is by like connecting to the people around me.
Right.
Like the philosophers, the Spice Girls said, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful piece.
it's like a mutual portrait of, like, I write poetry, and that's sort of a portrait of me, but like also this is a portrait of me because this is my life, and these are the people who I interact with.
I mean, that's all art, right? It's
yeah.
like you're saying the thing and you're hoping somebody goes, me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I love that feeling of like when you, like, there's been so many times when I've just been like sitting somewhere with like a little book, and I'll just be reading, and you just like those like clutch your chest moments where you read it and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's either the ones that are like so universal, they're everyone's experience, and so you feel connected in that way. Or I really love when you're reading something, or like something in like somebody's stand-up or in a film or whatever, a specific moment, and you just go like, oh, that thing I thought made me so alone.
Yeah.
Is someone else's experience, and you go like, oh, it's not an alone thing. It's a universal thing.
It's like sharing a blanket with somebody where they're like, you want some of this? And you're like, yeah, let me in there.
Although sometimes, and then I go like, I love it, but it's too hot. Get off me. It's too hot. Get off me. But I like, do you have a lighter blanket?
And that's where different poems come in. You just, sometimes it's for fun. Sometimes it's for,
Warms and cozies.
Yeah.
And sometimes for secret handies.
I've been reading love poems back and forth with a partner, and it's been so lovely to just take that time and just bathe in that energy of somebody pouring their heart out. And it's been such a nice practice where like we would do it before dinner, where it'd be like, set the table.
Look at you, sweeties.
Yeah, we have like this little poetry book. It's like Pablo Neruda, and I'll read a poem and he'll read a poem, and we're just like, it's like trying on, it's like a costume or walking in someone's shoes, I guess, in a way. But there's just so many layers to human interaction and existence and intelligence that this is one I feel like isn't utilized as much as it should be in the everyday, where it's like everybody listens to music, everybody watches TV, but I think it's something that people could gain a lot of
Yeah, it's a lost art a little bit from the popular. Go to Scotland. They have a whole day dedicated to that guy.
I've been there. I've been to Edinburgh. Edinburgh.
Incredible accent.
Thank you.
Beautiful pronunciation.
I didn't even have to practice.
I guess the theme of this one is like identity, right? Some of your identity, some of your life really is just kind of what you choose it to be, and like giving yourself that kind of power sometimes. Like in talking with a therapist and in doing some some of that kind of self-work stuff, it's kind of scary how much you can just go like, I remember working on trying to like stuff that's better for me that maybe I'm not inclined to, right?
Like vegetables.
And, kind of like your life's vegetables, right?
Yeah.
And talking to my therapist about it and being like, I heard this talk and I don't know if it's bullshit and I'm trying to like get to it. And I was like, but it basically says to just like lie to yourself about certain things you don't enjoy. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, that sounds interesting, but like, is that unhealthy? Is that, whatever? She's like, no. Like, there are 100% things in life. You want to make sure that you're not, that it is healthy choices you're making.
You're
not
you're
going,
parenting yourself.
Right. Yeah. It's parenting yourself. And it's, like I said, you want to make sure it's not unhealthy things. You don't want to be like in a bad relationship and go like, I love this. It's not that.
Do I like this up my butt?
Right. You don't want that unless you do want to try and get it up your butt, and then by all means. But the way that you can kind of repattern your brain, that eventually, like, I'm trying to be a good boy and trying to like get back into a gym after years of COVID and stuff like that. And just going like, I enjoy this. Yeah. Even though I may not. And go like, I like this. This is a fun thing that I'm doing. I enjoy it. And like, I've noticed after a few weeks of doing that, I kind of go like, I enjoy this. And it's a scary proposition in a lot of ways, because you're like, that could lead to some not great stuff. But that's like anything, right?
Yeah.
So if you can harness a little bit of it and just go like, these are the things that I want for myself that I don't feel like I am.
Yeah.
But I can discipline myself to get to the thing.
Yeah. Like sushi.
Like sushi.
Maybe.
Nope. Nope. Part of me wants to, but that's only so that I can feel cool.
It's so good though.
Because it does look cool. Would you eat lab-grown meat?
I'd try it.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Would you eat lab-grown human meat?
Ooh, fun ethical question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember back in the day, there was this stuff called hufu, and it was tofu flavored like people.
How would they know? Who's the taste tester
They
that's
take
doing
like
that?
firsthand accounts of like people who have been like stranded in the Andes, or like, yeah, it's wild. It's
What?
wild. And spoiler alert, we just taste like pork.
Oh, I have this icebreaker that I like to do. Some people very quickly reject it, but I think it's a good one. You go around and you say, if you had to eat everyone in this room, how would you cook them? Like, how would you prepare them? Mm. And it's really interesting because you say, like, you're like, I would like rotisserie, maybe with some like pineapple. And then like another person's like, I think I would eat you as a taco. It really is like an interesting personality assessment.
Is it? How would you eat me?
I'm thinking cooking wise.
Yeah, it's the end of the world. It's just me and you, but for some reason we've been stranded in like a 3-star Michelin kitchen.
I was just about to say that. Have you seen that movie, The Menu?
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible movie.
So intense.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Perfectly campy.
Yeah.
But like unique and I loved it.
I'm having a hard time thinking about food. Like what foods there are.
This to me, I hope, comes from a place of like being lighthearted and kind of a game and more about personality rather than like the practical ways of skinning your meat. Like,
I'm gonna eat you after this.
Like it's a personality, playful thing.
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
And be like, down the back, rip off the. So I assume it's a playfulish thing, but it's like practically. I love barbecue.
Yeah.
So if I was like I'd be sad. I'd be like, I had to eat Aubrey.
Yeah.
I assume that's the material condition.
Ooh, I know how.
So I'd be like,
I know what
I guess I would like bathe you in barbecue sauce. I get these little whibs. Out of you. Or like one of the big like Disney turkey legs.
Yeah, I've got pretty.
Yeah, you got a good thigh on you.
Yeah.
So it's like I would shave the meats down into a little turkey leg.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to the abandoned Disneyland.
I'd say like a mesquite like smoked situation, some like black pepper, like a hot coals kind of thing, where it's like a smoked mesquite,
like covered in like banana leaf.
Yeah.
I also feel like the reason why someone is insulted by beef jerky is like, if you're gonna be eaten, you want a big send off, right?
Yeah.
You want like a Hannibal, like, oh, he like turned me into foie gras, and like you know, like you want like a very fancy meal. You want to be paired with like a nice wine.
There was one person where somebody was like, I'd sushi, like but there was somebody who was really like
people sushi, raw people sushi.
But they were like really one of those people that's like really careful about everything that goes into their body, and they eat really clean, and they're just like it's like an aura to them, and they're like they had like long blonde hair, and
this person's in a cult, just so you know.
No.
They're in a cult. Like they eat really clean and long blonde hair, and they were very thoughtful about it, and there wasn't a lot of humor. It was more about the practical means of which they would consume a human body.
Yeah, it is an interesting question.
I did not expect this conversation to turn to cannibalism, though. So thank you for this icebreaker.
You're welcome. Where do we go from cannibalism?
I don't know. There's no turning back.
I wrote a poem about cannibalism. It's about eating the rich, which I think we're cool with.
We are cool with that.
Yeah, they'd be delicious. They all shop at Erewhon.
Oh, yeah, they probably have, like, great muscle. Depends. It depends on if they're, like, a decadent kind.
Yeah.
Because if they're, like, kingly, then they probably have, like, gout and stuff. You know? Although, I don't know, maybe gout makes... Because you're, like, salting the meat.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You're like, those salty feet.
This is going to get flagged for sure.
Right.
They're like, do we need to, like, check on those
You're going to have to beep your cannibalism.
Yeah.
They're like, it started off so sweet, and they were talking about, like, gentility for little mice in their houses, and then they started talking about eating people.
That's just our vibes, okay?
Right?
That's like, that's what we're into. Memes, eating people, and saving baby mice. Because baby mice...
They don't deserve
to be saved.
Also, there's not a lot of meat on them little bones.
Yeah. As the battery just died when we were talking about cannibalism, is there anything that we need to cover or touch base on about that you feel like you didn't get off your chest?
No, I feel
I'm
like
gonna eat later?
everything I ever wanted to say about cannibalism I got off my chest.
I'm glad I could do that for you. Yeah. Give you a platform to talk about cannibalism.
Thank you. It's a really important issue to me. Eating the rich is an important issue to me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a fine one by me.
Yeah.
As you can see by my shirt, I was just at a little picketing event for what still astounds me. We were talking about it earlier, like cartoon villain stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to cut down the shade trees.
Yeah. But, like, at least there's some people that aren't doing that, and they're off writing poems about
and they're trying.
Cute little mice and trying to be kind and good and lovely. I like to try and inject as much, like, beauty and loveliness into the world as I can, but sometimes I'm a dick.
Yeah.
Sometimes I honk at people in traffic.
Yeah, me too. Want to do the 1 week no honk pledge?
I can do that.
Let's do that. 1 week no honk.
Yeah.
Let's check in.
Sometimes that's for safety, but I'll refrain.
No angry honks.
Yeah.
Only safety honks.
Yeah.
Safety. Honk. Thank you.
Is there anything you would like to plug or have people, if people wanted to hunt you down and consume you as that
cannibalistically
mystique or mesquite,
a little
barbecue,
little smoky
yeah.
Boy. I'm on things. My name is Ian Gary. Google that or whatever. I'd say most importantly, especially right now, the Actors Fund. People are on strike, and there's a lot of people who need help. And so if you are in a position to, and you are so inclined, I think it's literally like either SAG-AFTRA Foundation or actorsfund.com. Again, if you just Google it, it'll show up. Help people that need help, because it is a very transformational time in labor and in the entertainment industry. And I think that is the most important thing right now.
Nice.
That's my thoughts.
I love it. Well, thank you for coming over to my house in person. And I hope that we see each other again soon.
You will.
And not just on the cyberwebs.
Memes.
So at the end of this, we hug, if that's okay with you.
More than okay. You have to move. Do we slap these guys out of the way?
But we have to be strategic about it, because there's gear.
Yeah, I'm not saying like wreck your gear, bro.
Oh, this one's going down.
Yeah, that one doesn't want to cooperate. Should I hold it and give you a hug?
You're right.
You tell me.
We got it.
Yeah, that one's
problematic.
Mm-hmm.
This mic is canceled. Oh my god.
Thank you, sweetie. I love you.
I love you, baby. All right, let's turn the air conditioning on.
Sounds good.
I feel like that's the end of every episode now. It's like, get the fucking AC on. Dude, I'm dying.
Fucking dying, bro.
You want to go eat some people? Cook some shit up?
People.